I'm afraid of flying. No, I'm a scientist. I'm an astronomer, and I've got my feet firmly on the ground, but I use telescopes to look trillions of miles away. So I got friends that are astronauts, but that's not me. But yeah, they're amazing people.
Isn't it amazing how we were able to do 50 years ago what we did without any of today's technology? That's amazing to me.
I mean, can you believe it? I mean, they basically use slide rules. We didn't have computers the way we have them now. In fact, I mean, the very reason you have these, small personal computers is because, eventually it's like, hey, we need to bring computers up into space. We better make these things small. So, your cell phone is kind of a direct outgrowth of the Apollo program.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah, I heard that the camera in the phone was a direct result of it too, right?
That's right. That's NASA technology that you're probably using every day.
So what is TESS? Let's talk about your topic. What is TESS?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so TESS stands for the Transiting Exoplanet Survey Satellite. And so just like it sounds, a transit is when we actually see a planet cross in front of a star and block out a little bit of the light. It transits across the star.
Oh.
And so we find thousands of planets this way. And TESS is a satellite that's surveying the whole sky to do this.
It's kind of like when my little brother walked in front of me, right?
he eclipsed you a little bit, huh?
And you found a new planet called Hunter?
Well, so it's a planet hunter. So actually,
it's a planet hunter.
That's right. We have found 4,000 planets going around other stars up in the sky, and TESS today was announcing the discovery of some really cool new planets. We're finding solar systems that have, in this case, there was a new solar system called GJ357. Sorry for the bad name, but there's a star with 3 planets that are Earth-like.
It's not that bad of a name.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, they're smaller planets. They're all a little bit bigger than the Earth. They range from about 20% bigger than the Earth to about 6 times the mass of the Earth.
It's amazing
and
that.
And the planets that we're finding are so cool because they might even be at the right distance away from their star to have things like liquid water on the surface.
And that's important because it could support life, right? That's why that's important.
That's the idea, yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're always trying to answer the question, are we alone? Is there anywhere else there could be life out there in the universe? And so think about that. When I was in college, which was like 25 years ago, we didn't actually have proof of other planets going around the stars in the sky. Now we know of 4,000, and we think TESS is going to discover a couple more thousand in the coming years.
That is amazing. Not only do you discover that they are there, but you discover things about them, which is amazing to me. It seems like we just yesterday didn't know much about Pluto, and now we know about planets that are, oh my gosh, so much farther away than Pluto is.
Oh, yes. In fact, I mean, the closest star to us, Alpha Centauri Proxima, which is about 4 light years away, that has an Earth-sized planet around it. I mean, really, most of the stars in the sky have their own solar systems. That shouldn't be a big surprise. And the more we understand about the different solar systems, the more we understand about us, and vice versa. And the amazing thing that TESS is finding is that the most common sort of planet in our galaxy is one that we don't have in our solar system. They're called super-Earths, and they're planets that are like 2 to 6 times the mass of the Earth. And we don't have anything like that. And that's the most common type of planet. So, I mean, what's wrong with us? I mean, why are we different?
Wow.
How do you tell the difference between a planet, a star, and a moon?
Well, so a star, I mean, they're kind of easy because they're really big. The sun could fit about 1 million Earths inside it. So, I mean, those are all the stars in the sky. They're all things like the sun, but a lot farther away. Planets, of course, are smaller things that go around stars. And like we said, I mean, TESS basically looks for these tiny little, almost like a solar eclipse. Goes in front of the star, the light drops a little bit, and you can find out a lot of things about the planet from that. And then moons are things that go around planets. I mean, some moons are incredibly significant. Like, there's a moon of Saturn that we just approved a mission to visit. The moon's called Titan, and Titan has an atmosphere that's thicker than the Earth's. Titan's about the same size as the planet Mars. It actually rains. There are lakes of liquid methane on Titan. But the reason we don't call it a planet is it's going around something bigger. It's going around Saturn.
Oh.
So it's kind of a size thing.
If you land a rocket on a liquid methane lake, would it blow up?
Yeah.
Well,
luckily for us, there's not a lot of oxygen around. I mean, when you think about something burning and combusting, that means it's combining with oxygen. So in the case of the methane, you'd probably be all right. There's just not enough oxygen around.
Can you see data real time, or do you have to wait until all of this is accumulated by TESS and then given back to you?
Well, so I mean, TESS definitely downlinks regularly and sends us the data that it's taking, and then the scientists process that data. So in some sense, while it takes a while to get the data all cleaned up and the scientists look at it and make the discoveries, it's coming down all the time. So in that sense, it is sort of real time, and this is kind of mind-blowing. You can actually help us do this. Any person, there's a website called planethunters.org, and you will help us go through our data and look for these little dips in the starlight. And so people that have no background in science, no training, they have discovered themselves incredible new worlds around other stars.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, that is
I just
amazing.
went planethunters.org.
.org, yeah, that's right.
So I went to that site, and it looks like audio, frequency things, like there's something we would see here at the radio station, actually.
Yeah, I mean, basically, you're looking for little dips in the light. We have almost kind of like a video game interface. So like I said, you don't need any science training. You start doing this, and you're going to start finding planets.
Really? Can I have one named after me? If I find one, can I?
Wouldn't that be nice? Yeah. I know it's frustrating. They all have these kind of stupid like phone book number names. I mean they're all numbers.
Well, is there any truth to that company that sells? You can buy it. Name a star after your
Lord,
father.
No, don't do it. It's a total scam. So there's companies that will take your money and say, "Oh, we're going to name a star after you. We're going to name a planet after you." I think they write down your name in one of their books, but the scientists will never get it. They'll never hear about it. So don't spend your money on that.
Are you in Florida? Are you here in this state? No.
Greenbelt, Maryland.
No, I'm in Maryland. But I love getting down to Florida. I get down to Kennedy Space Center a lot.
Because I was going to ask people if you send me $10, I'll name a grain of sand on the beach.
There you go. That's your grain of sand.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's kind of like that. Yeah.
Is there a sister technology to test that can go way deep into the ocean where regular things that explore the ocean can't go because of the pressure?
Oh, geez. So, I don't actually know about ocean pressure. I know that, I have friends that are deep-sea scientists, and these days, the probes they have can go all the way down to the bottom of the ocean. Oh. And the amazing thing, it's kind of funny, the connection. So, I mentioned this moon of Saturn, Titan, that has methane. We actually find methane-based life at the very bottom of the deepest part of the ocean here. And so, one question is, if we study the methane-based life here on Earth, could there be similar life on this moon around Saturn? That's one of the things that NASA's working on right now, collaborating with deep ocean scientists.
Oh my gosh. And have you published journals and white papers and things that we can follow you?
My research personally is pretty esoteric. I study binary stars that go around each other. Yes, you can find articles that I've published, but the science articles honestly are kind of hard to read. But I've got 2 TED Talks. I do podcasts, so you can also see my sort of more public stuff if you just Google my name.
So you study stars that go around each other.
Yeah, it's like 2 stars in the same solar system. Like, did you see Star Wars when you were a kid? I don't know how old you are.
Yeah, I was a kid. Yeah,
that's great.
Okay, so you remember Luke Skywalker? He's out there, and there's 2 stars setting, the double sunset.
That's what you study.
That's a binary star, 2 stars that go around each other, and that's what I study. And in fact, we have found planets going around binary stars. Oh
my gosh! Can you imagine what nighttime looks like over there?
Yeah,
2 suns in your sky, right? That's
right. Yep.
Wow.
Was this fascinating to you ever since you were young?
Oh yeah, my mom said as soon as I could walk, she's not a scientist. She didn't know what was going on. I wanted to go out and look at the stars, and I dreamt of working for NASA my entire life. And so, when I pick up the phone and say, "Hey, NASA here," that seems pretty cool every single time.
You're so exciting to talk to. Can I ask? There's something I still don't understand about this, and maybe Robin grasps, but is the TESS an actual satellite that's out in space?
Yep, it's orbiting the Earth.
Okay.
So we send TESS out there. Up above the atmosphere, it gets a very clear, uninterrupted look at the stars.
Okay.
And we're looking for tiny little dips in light. When a little planet crosses in front of a star, the light doesn't go down much. Just a percentage point or 2. And so, we need a very clear sky to do this. So TESS was launched about a year ago. It has scanned about half the sky, and now we're going to do the part of the sky in the northern part, like over the United States.
Okay.
And so, I'm not kidding. New planets every week and every month coming up for the next year.
So if, let's say, somebody, a million miles away was looking in our direction, it would take 1 year for them to see us pass in front of the sun? Like, you know what I mean?
That's right, yeah. So, if you were even farther away, like I said, the closest star to us, 4 light years, a light year is about 6 trillion miles. If they were looking back at the sun and they were at the right angle, because the planet needs to go sort of right in front of the star, then they would see the sun make a little dip every year as the Earth went around it. Exactly.
And would it be possible for two of our planets to pass the sun at the same time, and they would see a different dip than they would another year or something? Is that...
Well, yeah. So, I mean, one system that we discovered a couple years ago, it's called TRAPPIST. The TRAPPIST system that we know has 7 Earth-sized planets. And we see each one going around in its own orbit, slightly different timing. So if you were looking back at our solar system, you'd see Mercury and Venus and Earth and all the planets eventually go by.
And were you part of the science conference for TESS, and can we see the results somewhere?
Well, absolutely. There's all kinds of wonderful press releases coming out this week. So, they've hit a lot of the major news venues. I mean, we've been covered the New York Times and CNN. Or you can go to our own website here at NASA. We have a special website called exoplanets.nasa.gov. And exoplanets, that's the name for planets around other stars. Like exo means outside, far away. So exoplanets.nasa.gov. You can read all the new stuff.
Wonderful.
Michelle, you are so exciting. There's so much more we'd like to ask you. One of the cool things about where we live is we have the Space Center not too far away. And now I want to go. Talking to you, I want to take a drive over there.
I love it. I actually cry every time I see the Atlantis. I'm not kidding. That is so beautiful at Kennedy Space Center. Every single damn time. I've got tears in my eyes.
Oh, my. Just give me chills.
If you're ever over there, I want to kind of do it with you, because you could tell me everything.
I would be very happy to.
I wouldn't know what I was looking at, but you could say, you know what that is, and you would tell me what it was, right?
I hope so, yeah. Or always admit what you don't know. But yeah, the Kennedy Space Center is just wonderful. Yeah, you really should go there.
Well, tell your friends up in the space station we said hi. Tell them to be careful. Don't poke any holes in that thing. Michelle, thank you. Thank you for being on the show with us today.
Well, sure. Thanks for having me.
That was fun. We'll be right back.
On this Thursday, intervals of clouds and sunshine with a thunderstorm around in the afternoon, the high 87 to 91. Partly to mostly cloudy skies Thursday night, perhaps a shower or thunderstorm in spots early. The overnight low 74 to 78. For Friday, clouds and sun, a warm, humid day with a shower and thunderstorm or two around, some with flooding downpours, the high 82 to 86. For Saturday, clouds, limited sun, a couple of showers, and a heavy thunderstorm or two, the high 86 to 90. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Joe Lundberg.
Here is your 1-minute news brief. Pro Football Hall of Fame middle linebacker Nick Buonaconti, who